If you own a home, there's a good chance that you're already sitting on the down payment for your first rental property and you don't even know it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to turn the equity in your house into a rental that pays you every single month. I'm going to show you the 3 ways to pull that equity out, which one fits your situation, how much you actually need, and the 4 things that stop most people right before the finish line. I'm Robert Stewart, I'm a lender and I'm a real estate investor, which means I get to see this from both sides of the table. Let's get into it. Let's first define the thing. Equity is what your home is worth minus what you still owe on it. If your house is worth $500,000 and you owe $300,000, you have $200,000 in equity. Here's the part people miss though. You cannot spend equity. It is not a bank account. To use it, you have to convert it into cash. And there are exactly 3 doors to choose from. Door number 1 is a HELOC, a line of credit secured by your house. You draw only what you need and you pay only interest. You pay interest only on what you draw. Usually it's a variable rate, but it doesn't have to be. Door number 2 is a cash out refinance. You replace your existing mortgage with a bigger one and you take the difference in cash. Usually a fixed rate, but you're resetting your entire loan. Door number 3 is a home equity investment, an HEI. An investor gives you cash today for a share of what your home is going to be worth down the road. No monthly payment at all. But here's how people pick wrong. They compare the interest rate and they don't compare anything else. The right question is what happens to your monthly cash flow the day after you buy the rental? Hold that thought for just a minute. Before anything else, you need to know how much equity you can actually access, not how much you have, how much you can get to. Most lenders will let you go to about 80% of your home value, sometimes 85%, counting all the loans against the house together. That is called combined loan to value. So take that same example, a $500,000 home, 80% of that is $400,000. You owe $300,000, 400 minus 300 is $100,000 of accessible equity. One warning here, and I want you to write this down because it's important. That accessible number is your ceiling. It's not a target. Nobody should be walking up to the ceiling on their first deal. I will show you where to actually stop in just a minute. First, the other side of the coin. What does the rental cost to buy? You have down payment, closing costs, reserves. I just did a whole video on those 3 numbers linked above, so I won't repeat it here, but there is one cost that people forget, and it's the one that hurts the most, and it's time. Buy a property that needs work and needs a tenant, and you can be 6 months from your first rent check while you're already paying on the equity that you pulled out. That is why we focus on turnkey properties. Tenant already in place, lease already signed, income starts on month 1. Your equity payment and your rent check line up from day 1 instead of fighting each other for half a year. All right, here's the actual process, and the order matters more than anything else in this video. Start with step 1. Confirm your real equity number, not as estimate, not what your neighbor sold for. Get a real valuation because your entire plan is built on that number. Step number 2, pick your door based on cash flow, not on the rate. If you're sitting on a 3% mortgage, a cash out refinance means you just reprice that entire $300,000 balance at today's rates to get at that $100,000 in equity. That can be the most expensive $100,000 you ever borrowed. A HELOC leaves your good rate alone. Okay, step number 3, and this is a big one. Get the rental financing lined up before you draw a single dollar of equity. This is where most people blow it. They pull the equity first because it feels like they're progressing. Then they go shopping. Now 2 things are working against you. Number 1, you're paying interest on money sitting in your checking account doing nothing. And number 2, that new HELOC payment is now showing up on your credit report as a liability, right when a lender is deciding whether to approve you for that mortgage loan for the rental. You made yourself look worse to the lender, and you paid for the privilege. Get approved first, then draw. Step number 4, find a property where the numbers actually carry both payments. The rent has to service the loan on the rental and leave room for the equity payment on your house. If it only works on paper when everything goes perfectly, then the deal doesn't work at all. Step number 5, close and then let the tenant pay you back. That's the whole idea, right? You use equity that was sitting there doing nothing and now somebody else is paying it down for you every single month. Let me give you the one number that tells you whether a rental is real or whether it's going to be a hobby. It's called DSCR, Debt Service Coverage Ratio. It is just the rent divided by the debt payment. If the ratio is 1.0, the rent exactly covers the payment and you make nothing. If it's 1.25, the rent covers the payment plus 25%. That's comfortable. At 1.5, the rent covers the payment plus half again. That's a strong property. And here's why this matters so much when you're using equity. A DSCR loan qualifies the property on its own income. It's not looking at your W-2, your tax returns, or your day job. The property has to carry itself. But let's be clear about this. The HELOC payment on your primary residence is still yours personally. The DSCR loan does not make that go away. So the deal has to be good enough to carry both, which is exactly why the property you pick matters more than the rate that you get. Now here's the part nobody talks to you about. Even when all the math works, there are 4 things that stop people from ever getting in the game. And I've watched all 4 of them stop really good people with really good numbers. Financing, finding the right property, finding a tenant, and managing the thing once you own it. That's exactly why we built Next Level Investing the way that we did. It's a one-stop shop, and it's built to remove all 4 of those hurdles. Financing. I'm a lender. We fund in-house, including DSCR, and our DSCR rates are well below the premium most people expect. A lot of our providers also offer a 2% seller incentive that you can use to buy down the rate even further, or you can use it to pay down your closing costs. Whatever you'd prefer, and we can help you make the smart decision in that arena as well. The property. Our deals are curated and vetted, and they qualify for DSCR. A lot of them at 1.5 or better, and we regularly have turnkey with equity already built in. That is not what you get from a typical turnkey shop. Number 3, tenants already in place, leases already signed, and number 4, property management. It's provided and free for the first 12 months. So the 4 things that hold everybody up, we just took right off the table. So here's what I want you to walk away with. The equity in your house is not a savings account, and it's not an emergency fund. It's a starting line. It is sitting there doing nothing while somebody else is using theirs to buy the property that you are still thinking about. If you want to see what we actually have currently available, go to nextlevelpropertyinvesting.com/YouTube and get the hot property list. It's 100% free, and it will show you the real numbers on real properties and not dreams and ideas. And if you want the next piece of this information, watch the video on HELOC versus cash out refinance, because picking the wrong one of those is the single most expensive mistake in this entire process. I will show you all about that one coming up next. Be sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of my videos.